start, first of all, thank you so much for coming. It saves you kind of a lot of time instead of having like each of you come to like my office hours or something. So anyway, so here's kind of the nitty-gritty of Transpo. I'm going to, excuse me if I go kind of quickly, there are a lot of slides, but since a lot of the forms that we have is more about the deadlines and just filling them out, you don't have to take down every single thing. Like these will be on the CSC website as well, so just a heads up so you don't freak out because they're like 30 slides or something. So yeah, what is CSC Transportation? We provide transport for all of the projects in the form of vans, in the form of buses, and kind of everything else that you need. Like I take care of your Genrex, I make sure that you guys turn in all of your van requests on time, and etc. So like I said, I manage the quarterly van schedule. I will let Tom, who's at maintenance, know when we need our vans to be fixed, whenever there's like a problem, like either brakes or anything. So I'm available. I'm after service, and contact me whenever. So, my name's Alice, and if you've I'm sure you've all probably received an email from me. If you have not, please be sure to email me at csctranspo@gmail.com, and I will get you all the information you need. Here are kind of the useful phone numbers that you might want. Usually I'll be contacting these people just for buses and vans and whatnot. I'm in Kirkhoff 405. We will have office hours posted probably next week, so you can visit me there or just text me and be like, hey, I have a question. So next. So I'm in the office, and it's easier to contact me by texting me, as some of you know. So feel free to contact me whenever, wherever. So just getting into it. CSC vans, we have 13 vans this year. We've got a new one, so we will be putting that into fruition this year, which is exciting. All of our vans are now in lot 4 and level 2. If you have not picked up a van yet, you go to the North Athletic Field, you take the elevator down to level 2, and then the vans should be right there. When you check out the keys, just let them know that you're like Alice from CSC, checking it out for today. And usually, it's kind of up to you when you want to check out the keys. You can check it out day of, you can check it out the day before. But if you check it out the day before, I would suggest going out the later end of the day, so that if the project is using it that day, then it'll be there when you're there. And the other service that we use is Bruin Car, aka Fleet, which kind of split into 2 entities this year. So Bruin Car is now a 24/7 service. It's like electronic. All their vans are in lot 8, which is near the police building or police station. And so, like I said, it's 24 hours. I'll still be in charge of booking everything. I'll send you the confirmation numbers. But essentially what you'll do is they have a little kiosk, you put in your confirmation number, you pick up your keys, and you're ready to go. And this is actually a huge improvement over what I'm sure if you've done Transpo before, what we had before, we had to go all the way to lot 32 and pick up your van on like Friday night or Friday afternoon, and then like find a place to park it for your Saturday sites. But these ones, it'll be really easy for you to just like go day of, and you can like park it. You can leave it in the parking structure until you meet that van, so you don't have to like find parking or anything. So that's really exciting. Well, just a couple things to talk about. With this new system, everybody will need to, all the drivers will need to take a mandatory 15-minute tutorial and then answer some questions about what was in the tutorial, just to make sure that they watched it. I think I already emailed everyone with the instructions for your drivers to do that, so if you haven't got that, let me know and I will email you that. But, and the thing is, I highly stress when you have your volunteers take the tutorial that they actually listen to it and they go through it. It's only 15 minutes, but the thing is, things like knowing that you have to pick up within 12 hours of your confirmation time, filling up every single time when you're using the van, and turning the van back into the lot at the same time are really important, because unlike CSC vans, where it's kind of like, well, the next person needs it, you can just call them and give them the keys. If you turn your van late, or if you don't put the gas, there will be penalties, and so I wouldn't want anyone to have to all of a sudden apply for more funding because we returned a van late. So the other half of Fleet, which is the enterprise vans, these Fleet actually kind of outsources its vans or outsources to get vans when there aren't enough. So if you do end up getting an enterprise van, you will have to go to the Fleet lot 32, but hopefully this shouldn't be an issue just because we have more vans this year. Okay. So as Transport Director, reminders. Your main responsibility is the quarterly van requests, and those are due by the end of tonight, so I hope I will have many emails in inbox by tomorrow morning. And these are due week 9 before the next quarter. I will send out reminders. I might be changing to week 10 since it's not pretty effective, but anyway, but for right now it's week 9. Bus requests are due 2 weeks before your field trip, and those forms will also be on the website. You'll just turn it in to me and I will do the rest for you. Field trip forms, also 2 weeks notice. You need an insurance list, the children's names, pretty much just the names. The other part is not necessary. And then an itinerary, statement of need, and list of attendees. Retreats are also 2 weeks notice. You need itinerary, vehicle request form, list of attendees. So essentially, just make sure you are kind of fulfilling the 2 weeks notice on them, just so that not only for my purposes, but also for SGA, because Irma at SGA books all of our vans and all of our buses. So it gives her a little bit of lead time, and just in case she forgets. So. Yeah, so all these forms will be on the CSC website in the resources folder. So if you just need something and you need to fill out a bus request, all the bus request things will be in the resources folder. Okay, so driver's list. I've also emailed you about this, but essentially we just need these for the entire quarter. These are actually really more useful for Bruin cars since it's a new program. They are requiring us to resubmit all of our information, and this is a one-time thing only for Bruin cars. Once I have all of it, then you won't have to submit that for Bruin car for the rest of your UCLA career or something. So if everyone is just really good about it right now, then we can just get it done with and get it over with. The rules are only UCLA students are permitted to drive our vans, including information on potential drivers. So if you're recruiting new volunteers who you think might drive, just give me the information anyway. Or if you've already submitted it, send me another line saying like, hey Alice, I have a new driver, here's their name, driver's license, etc. And so I can add them. Because they don't always have to drive, they can always just be on our list just so that if you want to use them some random day, we already have the information. And so in order to be able to drive, you must attend driver safety training and vehicle orientation, which are the same thing. And we actually, if you have volunteers who you know need to drive and have not taken this training, we have it tomorrow. So make sure you can go onto OrgSync and reserve a space in that.
Is it every quarter?
Which one?
The orientation and.
Oh yes,
okay.
Sorry. Yeah, good question. We will have driver safety trainings usually in the first couple weeks of every quarter, and so if you have new drivers, they can do that. Yeah, and so a sample driver list, they will include your name, student ID, etc., all these things. DMV pools. These also need to be submitted in order to drive one of our vans. You essentially just go on to California DMV, or if you're out of state, I think you might go to your own state's DMV, and then you can just request a DMV poll. You take a screenshot and then you submit it to OrgSync. On OrgSync, it'll be, if you go to CSC, there'll be forms, and then there's a submit driver's poll, DMV poll, and then I can just say, good, you're good to go, haven't gone to any accidents, and you'll be all set. You'll be charged, California drivers are charged $2, I think, per DMV poll, and this year we do give reimbursements. However, this year we're not going to do them just for everybody to pool. We're going to be on a requested basis only, just because a lot of people kind of don't care about it. It's like it's $2, they don't really want to go through the hassle of coming to the office at a certain time to pick it up. So this year we'll just be doing, just let your volunteers know to ask you, and then let me know who wants it, because I know that for out of state it can be significantly more per quarter, and these are due every quarter to ensure that you haven't gone to accidents the previous quarter and you're good to go on driving. So training, they're here. I kind of explained that, so we can go to the next slide. And then submitting it to OrgSync, pretty self-explanatory. So I'm kind of going into all the forms that you'll be needing to fill out per quarter, whether it be for field trips, or vans, or buses. So they're all pretty similar. So for quarterly van orders, I sent you guys all the van requests. I'll tell you the due by date, and then, what?
Oh, sorry, no, I wasn't.
Okay. So I'll have the due by date. Our vans, for CSC vans, the prices are $60 per van. This goes towards the maintenance fee for all of our vans. And then vans hold 7 passengers, so kind of plan accordingly to that by how many tutors or volunteers that you have going to site every week. And yeah, these will be due pretty much Friday. Hopefully, probably Friday of 10th week, I'll say. And yeah, these should be a comprehensive kind of order for the entire quarter. But if you do need more vans, let me know. Try to let me know in like 3 days before, just so that if I do need to order another van through like Bruin Car or Fleet, that can be done, and we can get you a van rather than telling me before, because a lot of the vans, as I'm sure you probably know, get booked throughout the quarter, and we're pretty packed. So yeah. Banner form. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys have seen the form, but you just fill it out, put your site, when you need it, where you need it, and then we'll do the rest. Bus order is kind of the same thing. It depends on if you're using this for your volunteers or you're using this for a field trip. But if, for volunteers, you just need to submit it exactly the same way as you would for a van request. And for field trips, you'll be doing this the same way, except that you'll need a statement of purpose and like why you want to go, like for field trips or something, and then have kind of a list of your tutees or your kids, I guess, that you volunteer for, because that's and that list is really for my use and when you want to purchase insurance for your kids, because field trips that aren't on the UCLA campus, and there's a slide later for this, but if you're bringing kids to UCLA campus, it's fine because they're covered by kind of UCLA insurance. But if you're bringing them to like the Griffith Observatory or something, then you need to buy like a $25 insurance that covers all your kids. Yeah. Field trip orders, pretty much all the same. Just do them 2 weeks before you need them. Yeah. Retreats, pretty much the same thing. They just need to be within a 250-mile radius of UCLA, which I'm sure that, if it's like a weekend, I'm sure you guys will be fine with. What else? For conferences, for conferences, we do have a van company, or sorry, a bus company that goes farther distances. So if that does come up, we can order buses that you need. And reimbursements for personal vehicles are available. I don't have the price right now from SGA, but it's something like, I think last year it might have been like 14 cents a mile. So it's up to you if your drivers do want the reimbursement. There definitely is a reimbursement for using your own car. So the stuff that you need is submitting a retreat order, is the statement of need, retreat agenda, the attendees, who to contact for your vehicle request form, which is probably going to be you. Okay, so the transport budget doc. The purpose is so that you, as a transportation director for your own project, can monitor your funds and say like, hey, we've ordered X amount of buses or X amount of vans, and so we'll be using X amount of dollars this quarter. And for me, it's easy to see how much I need to charge you per quarter, because we get a kind of a one lump sum number for the maintenance for all of our vans, and then that is each project will be charged accordingly based on the percentage of vans that they use that quarter. So here come the instructions. I don't have the actual document, but there will be areas where everything's pretty much formatted. This is kind of the same for all the forms we have. Everything's pretty much formatted. If it says like please fill in here, you can just fill in here. If it says like name, just fill in those areas. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you need help, feel free to text me or email me. So just some rules that we have for driving the vans. Like I said, only registered drivers can check out keys and drive. They need to be a student. The only thing is, when students are going through training and they have been okayed to drive our vans, we cover them for like accidents and stuff, but things like but we are asking you to be conscientious drivers on the road. So you will be individually responsible for things like tolls, minding the traffic laws and stuff. Those things will not be covered because those are kind of assume that you will be good drivers and respect the laws of the road. So keys you need to return at the end of your event or pretty much site, because a lot of times maybe someone is using the keys tomorrow. So if you are coming back late, try to get your keys to A level as soon as possible the next morning. For us specifically, for CSC vans, we ask that if the gas level is below 50%, that you fill it up at the maintenance yard, and that's right next, it's like off of Gilly, right next to the Strathmore, right?
Yeah,
Right,
so
Strathmore?
it's like where you would turn in if you were going in between the hospital
Oh yeah.
and the Strathmore thing.
Yeah.
I would say
So it's like
CCP.
right next to the emergency room area of Reagan. So if you're there, and you just put in there's like a black key on your key card, you put it in, you type in your mileage, and then you can pump gas, and that's all included in like the maintenance and stuff and what we pay as CSC. Try to keep the vans clean, just because there are a lot of us using it. Oh yeah.
Oh, for the gas, some people don't know this, but before you start pumping, it won't pump unless you lift the lever. So
That's
A lot-
such a hard
a lot of people were just like, this pump doesn't work, and they'll go to the next one. Like this pump doesn't. You gotta lift the lever.
Yeah. Good things to know. Yeah, all these like strange little tips. Yeah, if there's a problem, let ALA know immediately, because then they can let me know, and I'll just let Tom know, and then he can fix our vans. Also, just keep in mind the 2% in advance. It can be done in less time. It's just a little bit more stressful on both our ends, just because I want to make sure you have your bus, and if it's like filter or something, like you want to make sure like you can go. So yeah, if you get into an accident, which I hope that you will not, but if you do, make sure to take down the driver's name, their insurance, and like their license number. We'll have forms for you inside the van, so that in the rare occurrence that there is an accident, that you guys will be prepared. Make sure that you are submitting everything electronically to CSC Transport, and make sure that one person of each project is submitting it, so that there's no confusion. Even though I'm sure that'll just be you guys, since you guys are the designated transport directors of your projects. But just make sure you kind of keep an eye on your budgets, and that that if you have a certain amount of money, make sure you're not going over it, and you pretty much that. So, and if you have problems, you can always talk to me, like work something out. But just keep an eye on it, so that if I have to take out money, I'm like, whoa, there's no money in there. That we kind of avoid that. Okay, so vans. These CSC vans are more or less like $60 a van. Buses are $398 for the first 5 hours, and then $58 for each subsequent hour. You also get a 15% discount if it's on a Saturday, which most field trips are, so that's good. And fleet vans are $117 a day. Enterprise vans are slightly more, but yeah.
So does it cost more if you want to pick up your volunteers at UCLA and then pick up your service recipients?
I do not think so.
On the actual form, there's like I don't know what it's called, but it costs more. I just figured that's what it is.
Oh, yes, there's a thing called like a split.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know what the whole thing is, but it's like, if you want to pick up, So yes, if you want to pick up volunteers here first and then go to your site, it is counted as an extra stop, because when they factor in the prices, it's kind of like, it's A to B and then B to A kind of pricing. So there is like, so yeah, you're right, there is an extra cost if you want to pick up people here first. And then, because then it becomes like an EDC route. Yeah, so here are the instructions for getting gas. The black key, you insert into the kiosk, put in your mileage, lift the lever, and then pump your gas. And it should, and then if you're having problems, there should be people there to help you. There's usually like a couple guys around. They should know how to do it. So troubleshooting. So if you need to cancel a van, make sure you really need to cancel it. Because if you cancel your van, it might go to someone else. And then if you want that van back, it's a lot harder to get that van, because if, say that you had a CSC van and then canceled it, and then someone with a Bruin car van got your CSC van, then when you want your van back, I now have to order a Bruin car van. So ordering it takes a lot more time than if we can just keep everything in the way that it is before making the really big changes. Yeah. Same thing for van requests. If you are late, you might have to get fleet vans, and they are more expensive than our CSC vans. But just make sure that you are turning it in by the time that I request it. Okay. So if you get an accident, make sure you get the person's name, phone number, insurance information. If you hit them or vehicle, I hope you don't, but it's okay. You can leave the fleet services number. It'll be in the van. I'll make sure all this information is put there for you guys. And just make sure that you know take down what actually happened at the accident, so that just in case like the other person thinks that you did something, you have it in writing that these damages happened to the car. Make sure that I know, so that we can take care of it, and then go to SGA so that we can pay for whatever damages and then use the insurance. Yeah. Okay, if you keep our vans clean, if you do get a really dirty van, make sure to report it to me. I think that we will have, along with the kind of ops numbering system and point system, if your van is extremely dirty, our project will be deducting points. But usually I think the vans are pretty clean, so hopefully this shouldn't be a problem.